Why so quiet today? Music. I just didn't have it turned up. John, you're in the podcast room. You want to be on the podcast? No? Not. Was that a not yet? Not today. That means that could come in the future.
John's never been on the podcast. They just heard him from a distance coming into the microphones.
Yeah, I don't know if you can actually hear him.
No, there's certainly.
He said I'll be on it soon enough. 500? No.
Is that his podcast rate?
We're on podcast almost 200 for sure.
Mike, this is 200.
This is 200?
Wow.
Yeah.
What? Why are we not celebrating? We should be celebrating.
We need a 200 podcast cake right now.
We should.
Or a bottle.
Someone
bring me Donnell's Rolex.
Right. Donna, we need the Rolex, and we're going to need a cake and lots of candles. 200 candles. That's crazy. 200 podcasts.
Yeah.
Who knew?
How many years has that been?
I don't know. Well, obviously, if we do it once a week, it's like almost 4 years. But we weren't that consistent at the beginning, so like, I don't know. I don't really know.
We were relatively consistent.
Relative. Anyway, so there's a thing in our market, and I don't want to say our market specifically, but in real estate in general, that kind of stigmatizes the utilization of a VA home loan. I think people have a belief that it's complicated or it's not going to be as smooth for the seller, and the seller would rather have like cash or another type of mortgage loan.
Okay.
But it prompted this conversation. So the question stands to raise, how do you feel, specific from a seller's point of view, utilizing a VA home loan as a buyer would impact the transaction?
I don't think there should really be any stigma around it at all.
Okay.
Like none whatsoever.
Okay.
I think we live in a world, you've said it multiple times, so this is not me, where there's just a whole bunch of old lady real estate agents is what we call them.
Does that count as a curse?
No.
Okay.
Maybe if you're an old lady real estate agent.
It is my turn. Don't yell at us.
It is.
Here's the premise, people, just so you are aware. The term old lady real estate agent, it comes from the idea that someone taught someone how to be a real estate agent. And then they took that knowledge and taught someone how to be a real estate agent. And then they took that knowledge and taught someone how to be a real estate agent. And it just feels in this industry that there's never been independent thought. There's never been someone that comes and says, oh, I think we should change or we should do it this way.
Yeah.
It's always like, this is the way we're taught. This is how we do it. And so then that's where like old lady real estate agent is not a person and it's not an insult. It's just like the way that we were taught forever.
Yeah. Yeah. So like deviating from that, I
big words on the podcast today.
Oh, I guess maybe.
Deviation.
When I got into real estate, I'd follow Mike around and come to all of our trainings, and I'd learn old lady real estate
You're
agent
making
way.
it worse. Anyway,
I don't think so. But like
for sure, getting yelled at tomorrow. I'm 100%
they're
positive.
just like that idea can be applied to so many different things, and we're just talking about VA loans here. Have you ever heard it being a newly licensed agent?
By the way,
have you ever heard
can you
of
introduce
something like
yourself?
that? Yes.
Full, top to bottom. Kayleigh, welcome. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Kayleigh. I'm a new real estate agent. I'm just
Newer.
I'm a newer real estate agent.
Yeah. She's been licensed for like a month and a half.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Have you heard of like anything that we're talking about, like VA loans or any type of like idea in real estate that is, we'll say this older way of thinking or like this prescribed idea of thinking? Have you ever like seen any of that stuff on social media or like even just getting into the industry? Have you heard of those sorts of things?
I've heard of, there's definitely like one way to do something and there's no other way to do it. And then that's how I feel like most people are, honestly, in every career.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. That's pretty true.
It is very true. And so like, speaking of VA loans, like people say, oh, this will never pass a VA inspection. Like sellers agents will say that to their seller.
Well, let's take one deep step back and explain. The VA home loan is a loan. Well, can you explain it? Is a loan designed to be utilized by the military?
Yeah, for any veteran that has...
Or active duty.
Well, right, yes. Mm-hmm. Any active duty, any veteran, as long as you have eligibility to use this loan, you can take advantage of 0% down, right? So again, veteran, active duty, you can buy a house for relatively, we'll say, little dollar. Right. And I'd even say that comment there is a little bit of old lady.
It's a little, yeah.
So like, take that with a grain of salt, but...
So, but the VA home loan also does not require any private mortgage insurance, which makes the monthly payment a little bit more affordable than some of the other loan types as well.
So there are benefits.
It's a benefit to a military veteran.
And 0% down, like, is a great tool in today's world because then you just have to worry about mitigating closing costs to a certain degree. So, arguably ways of saving money here, right?
Yeah.
But that's essentially what it is. And then you're obviously getting it, I don't say through the VA, but there are certain VA guidelines and regulations that you have to follow, just like there are with any like conventional loans or FHA loans, but this is strictly like with the VA.
Interesting notation. Do you know how much time of eligibility you would have to have in order to qualify for the VA home loan?
I forget what it is, but it's a lot less than I would have expected.
Any idea?
The 10 years?
No.
Isn't it like
that is a misconception though. I appreciate that.
I don't know what it turns out to be, but I want to say
I can tell you exactly
6 to 8 months or something.
So it's 3 months in wartime.
Okay.
So if you're on active duty deployment and you've served 3 months on deployment, you're going to get it immediately.
Okay.
6 months during peacetime, which means active duty but not on deployment, so local to the states at your duty station, not any kind of deployment.
Yep.
And then if you are serving in the National Guard or the reserves, you're going to have a much, much longer time, like window of time, but your accrued service hours, it's the exact same amount of service hours, but it takes about 6 years.
Yeah, okay.
5 or 6 years.
So the 6 months was arguably a part of that, which is awesome. But like people also think that they have to go through the VA and that they're getting a loan from the VA. Like,
oh, that's a good point.
You have your lender that is the bank.
No, it's the VA, Christian.
Oh,
it's the VA, Christian.
The VA is this big thing that people paint an ugly picture about. Even some VA buyers, right? But if I'm representing a seller and there's 2 offers on the table, one's VA and one's FHA or conventional or whatever, there's a mix of them. I don't think there's one that is better or worse to really go with. I think it comes down to like the guts of it all. You know, like just if there's exact offers via FHA, they have their pros and cons. Like I think you have to look at the differences of the actual offer if there are some.
We were talking earlier today about inspections, like a home inspection, and Christian had mentioned the VA inspection, and it's a common misconception that it's a VA home inspection, and it's not. It's the VA, they call it the appraisal inspection or the appraisal walkthrough.
Yeah.
And it's the opportunity for the appraiser to go through kind of a checklist and make sure that there's no health or safety concerns that the bank, the mortgage bank, would need to be worried about with a VA-backed home loan, which is a little bit more strict than a conventional mortgage, but probably the same as an FHA, right?
Arguably. But here's where we go back to the mentality that we keep speaking of, right? The old lady real estate agent.
If you whisper, it's like you didn't even say it.
Yeah, no
one can even hear you.
Just went quiet for a second. Let's take our office here, right? This is a renovated, remodeled property, right? Like we bought it, did a whole bunch of work to it.
She's a nice lady, Christian.
If our office stuff wasn't in here, this would be move-in ready, like a house, right? This is like move-in ready, right? Mm-hmm. So when I have 2 offers on the table and some seller or even seller's agent is in this way of thinking of like, oh, it's not going to pass the VA inspection. Well, I'm like, this isn't a falling over piece of crap. What health and safety concerns are we really worried about? I didn't cuss. I said crap. It could have been.
I'm going to write it down anyway.
Instead of that being $1 in the jar, that one might be a quarter or like a dime.
Got it.
But like that's the thought behind it. Is like this isn't a falling over home, and like what are the true health and safety concerns? So why would I let that influence whether or not the seller accepts this offer? Like there is really nothing to be worried about. Now, there are silly things that could come up, like a handrail. Like we don't have a handrail coming down these stairs, right? So like that is something the VA might flag. But do you know how much it costs to go to Home Depot and put in a wooden handrail?
I bet you the VA appraiser is going to know.
It's under $100.
It's in front of your computer.
It's like under $100, right? So we're talking about a $100 difference of like someone accepting this offer over a handrail, but arguably it's move-in ready.
Mm-hmm.
Watch what you say.
Yeah, you can't cuss.
Can't cuss.
I guess
on
you
the
can't
podcast.
say crap either.
25 cents. We'll take it. No, but the appraisal inspection or the walkthrough inspection or the VA inspection is really just a health and safety thing. But when we're presented with multiple offers and one is a VA home loan and one is a conventional, I think that it's a stigma that many real estate agents carry that is not applicable here because of just the sheer volume of VA home loans. It does happen, but it's not as common.
But help me understand, like, we set the expectation with our VA buyers that you can't buy a piece of dump. Right? You can't.
Good catch. Anyway, continue.
Some dump it can pass.
Yep.
It can't be. That's what you get. It can't be falling over. It can't be holes in the wall. It can't be holes in the floor. Right? It has to be a good property. And most of the VA buyers that we're working with, we express that to them. So when we're going to write offers, truly, does the seller have anything to worry about? No, because we know that this is not going to have a million health and safety concerns. So truly, what's the difference at the end of the day? Right?
I think that's why the biggest and the truest answer is that there are agents that don't understand the VA home loan. So they might not be preparing their buyer. They may not be preparing the transaction, and they might be walking into a problem.
I think or it could be.
I think it goes both ways.
Well, I think it could also be them setting the expectation with the seller even beforehand. Or like, oh, we got a VA loan, and they haven't even presented the offer to the seller yet.
I'll give you the questions. Yoink. Yeah, I mean, I do agree. I think that the presentation matters, and I think that for some clients, they need to understand how to set that expectation. But truthfully, even when we don't set the expectation, I just don't find a problem with it. I think it's a stigma that exists outside of our local market. And in other military markets, I think that it's very, very common for people to use the VA home loan. But in non-military markets, like let's just say we were looking in like Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And forgive me, Lourdes, if there's military installation down there. I don't know of one. But I just don't know that they would be as willing to accept a VA home loan. Or maybe in downtown Miami, yes, there's a military installation nearby, but they might not be as willing because there might not be as much demand.
Right.
But in our areas that are high military areas, like, some of my friends that work out in Seattle, some of my people that work at, Virginia Beach and out in San Diego, where they're very, very high utilization of VA home loan. I don't think that the stigma exists. I think that it exists across real estate in general, but for most of us, especially in these markets, we don't have those kind of stigma.
Yeah.
All right.
Fire off a question.
By the way, Liv writes the questions for you guys if you guys don't know. So you're just reading them.
For our military clients listening, when did you first learn about the VA loan benefit? And is there anything you wish someone had told you earlier in the process?
Ooh, that's a great question. And I want to know, but I had someone reach out today. Military client, just learned about his benefits, asked a great question. I want to share.
Okay.
So if you guys do have questions, make sure you reach out to Christian at Christian the Deadhead on Instagram. Or you can reach out to me as well. But the question was presented today. Hey, I'm active duty military. I'm going through my first contract. My contract's up in 2028.
Okay.
I want to utilize my VA home loan, and I want to buy a house where I live with my mom. Can he do that?
Is she going to be on the loan? Like when he says with mom, what does he mean by that?
Well, that was the first piece of the puzzle. She wanted to be on the loan. We had to tell him she cannot.
Right.
What else?
I would assume since he has his contract, he should qualify for a VA loan, but I would have him request a certificate of eligibility.
Ooh, that's a good one. Anything else? You want to know what it was?
Sure.
Hey, bro. You're looking to buy a house here in Towson. You just enlisted, correct? Yes, cool. Where is your duty station?
Oh, okay.
Oh, San Diego. He's in the Marines. I go, okay. We're going to have to talk with your loan officer because you have to occupy the property. To utilize the VA home loan, you have to occupy the property.
So he in theory, was thinking he would buy here and then live in San Diego as duty station.
Well, no. He lives on base. So in his argument...
Base here?
He lives on base housing in San Diego.
Okay.
So his argument is my residence is with my mom back in Baltimore. So, hey, Ma, I got this VA home loan. This is what happened today. I got a VA home loan. It's a benefit that I've earned. I want to use it to buy us a better house.
Well,
That was his whole thing. But he can't do it. Not until 2028 when his contract is up.
See, I'd be curious because there's stipulations over what is defined as a primary residence. This is where you get into some cool shit, and you gotta write that one
Write it down.
And we really like push the envelope here. What defines a primary residence to a VA loan? Like how often do you have to live there out of the year? Do you know?
So you see, we're only charging him 25 cents for that. It was a positive thing. Primary residence, I believe, is your full-time primary. I think at minimum, it has to be 182 days. I think at minimum.
So like, I would imagine it's not really realistic for him to be at the property for 180.
No.
Yeah.
And that's why we had to educate him. We had to just let him know, hey, unfortunately, in this particular case, you could not take advantage of that. Now, you could buy in San Diego.
Yeah, just move the money
right?
out.
Actually, I haven't brought that up to them. I will this afternoon. But you could buy in San Diego, but you could not buy here in Baltimore because your duty station, your job, your report is going to be not local.
Right.
Now, they also have rules about like what your driving distance is. So if you were trying to buy here in Baltimore and your duty station was Virginia Beach, I don't think you can do that either. Even if you wanted to quote unquote commute.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that would be pretty unrealistic from Baltimore to Virginia Beach. I mean, that's at least 4 hours.
I agree, but I don't know. I don't make the rules.
Hit us with another.
Hit us with another good question.
What is one VA loan myth you have personally heard from a seller, a listing agent, or even a buyer that you wish you could have put to rest forever?
Wait, time out. Okay, go ahead.
I got two, but we've already said one, the VA inspection.
Got it.
The next one is I can get into this house with $0. That's from a buyer.
I like that answer, actually.
That's from a buyer.
I'm gonna like Family Feud this. Like, good answer. I like that.
Okay.
Go ahead. How can you put it to rest?
The first one, I mean, we already
did that one.
We talked about. The second one is like, that's the myth, another myth that we're all like sold on with the VA loan. Like, get in for $0. You don't have to bring any money. So then when you're meeting a real estate agent, you can just get this house for $0. Like, you don't have to bring anything. You just get this house with a VA loan. Nothing. Right? But the world that we live in today, there are a lot of houses that will get multiple offers, a lot of attention. So when we're looking to stand out to a seller, if we think that we can get all the closing costs covered by that seller, just like that, and not have to bring any money ourselves, or again, it's just going to be seller kind of bending the knee and giving you the money. Think about it from a seller's perspective. If I have another offer that's not asking for that closing, which one am I more inclined to choose? Because if that VA buyer thinks they don't have to bring any money, someone's got to pay for it, and we would have to ask that from the seller. So then the seller makes less on their sale, right? Now, there's a second piece to this that I think can benefit VA buyers, is that there's a lot of programs to mitigate even that closing cost ask. So like, in theory, you could still get into the house for $0, but like, what if you supplemented it with a program rather than asking from the seller, right? So it's not always the case where, you're getting it for $0. You could get it for very minimal, but like, it's not, hey, this is the case every single time.
Mine, I think, is going to be the same exact like layover. It's going to be that I can roll my closing costs into my loan.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it for a while, and I thought I had a good one in the VA renovation loan. We're not going to go down that road, but
That doesn't exist, you mean?
Kind of exists. But anyway, we're not going to go down there. But a lot of military veterans believe that they can buy for $0 down, right? And you can. I mean, very factually, it's possible to do. But to say, I'm just going to go and buy a house for $0 is like much more challenging than it actually lays out to be.
Even if you look at some of the basic things you have to do when you buy a house, if you do an inspection, right? Like, inspections are not mandatory, but like, if you want to do an inspection, the seller's not paying for it.
Right.
Yeah. And you have to do a wood destroying insect inspection with
requirement
VA properties. You have to do a water quality if it's on a well. So like, you've got to spend some sort of money, right? So it's just, we can get you in a position as to where you can be as little out of pocket as possible, but to say in every single market and every single transaction with a VA loan that you don't have to bring any money is crazy.
But the one, I think this is a good myth, is that I can roll my closing costs into the loan. Because again, Christian mentioned it, you can get the seller to pay your closing costs. It's allowable to say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, would you give me the money to pay the closing costs? Yes, that's an allowable thing to do. But what's not permissible is to just make a deal, not ask for the seller to pay for it, and then just like increase my mortgage price to accommodate for that extra closing cost.
The way that you would go about that, in some cases, you would reflect the closing cost amount and put it into the purchase price. And you'd offset it.
But I'm saying like specifically, some people still believe that they can just roll them in, and it's like no, you can't roll them in.
You would
essentially have to ask for the seller to pay for them.
Ask the seller to pay for it, and it's not uncommon for the seller to come back and say, "Hey, put a little bit of it into the price."
Are there any myths on here? No. Are there any other myths that we missed?
I think it was just us like talking about our own. Let me see. Will a VA appraisal kill my deal? There's a little paragraph about that.
No.
I think another
is no.
Huh?
The answer is no.
No.
What's the next question?
Okay.
Maryland has more than a dozen military installations. From your experience, which Maryland communities have been the most welcoming to VA buyers, and what makes them work so well for military families?
Whoa.
Communities is interesting. I think the biggest thing, I wouldn't say there's one specific community, because you have to think about all the
But if you had to pick one.
Yeah, but what base are we at?
Well, there's 12.
Well, duh, but like...
Well, like, pick a base and say this base is more military friendly than any other.
You mean this community is more military friendly?
Community around the
base.
base.
If you're around Fort Meade, you look at the greater Baltimore area.
I initially thought that, but I don't think that would be the one.
Are you? Okay, wait. Let me think about this a different way. You're asking which military base in the surrounding area would be more friendly for a military buyer.
Correct.
I have my answer right now. Calvert County, Andrews Air Force Base.
Interesting. I was actually going to go, if I was going to go that way, I was going to go with California.
Maryland?
Yeah.
What the hell all the way down there?
Because there's nothing else there. Everything. My initial answer was going to be Aberdeen because APG is like right there and there's so much military coming in that direction. But I don't know if I agree with that. And I think that the reason Fort Meade doesn't count is because there's so much competition in that area that I could easily see a seller be like, well, let's just go with a conventional or a cash offer instead of. But in, like you said, Andrews, PG, or not PG,
but even like
Calvert.
I also loop Andrews into like people that commute to DC.
Yeah, I agree.
Because people that live in Calvert County, where are you from? Do you know where Calvert County is?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah.
Well, because I commute to DC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. But like a lot of people that live in Calvert drive to DC for government or military contracting or Andrews. And so like we get a huge crowd. And Calvert is becoming this like suburb of like DC that a lot of people will come out to, right?
I agree.
Though. You know,
I think I'm going to rest on my laurel here and say California is going to be the most
crazy
VA friendly. Only because there's nothing else down there except the military installation. Like nothing. Even Fort Detrick was on my mind, but like,
well, that I think is the problem though, that there's nothing.
I mean,
I think I'm looking at it in a way where can a young family live there? Can a developed family live there?
But I'm just saying the community being VA home loan friendly. That's all.
Calvert, certainly.
I agree. I just think that probably farther south. Is that St. Mary's all the way down there?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I understand your thought
one.
now. Is that because it's basically just military there, there's no other...
There's no reason that they would be stigmatizing it.
Okay. I understand why you choose that now. Okay.
All right.
I see.
Next question. She's already rolling her eyes at us. This is so offensive.
I was thinking. I was like, sorry. I was just thinking.
Get Dan the Duck against you.
With rates and prices still elevating compared to a few years ago, how should an active duty family weigh in with the decisions to buy now versus continuing renting on base or in the local market?
Buy now.
I agree with that.
Isn't it always better to buy now?
The always is like my dad is going to yell at me if I say yes.
All right, isn't it?
But like
almost always.
In my opinion, what stops VA families from buying is the oh, but we're going to like, oh, we're going to get a new assignment. Oh, we're going to be PCSing. Oh, we're going like that future impending opportunity.
Yeah.
You agree?
Yeah.
And so they do this thing, the VA buyers do this thing where they like put off buying because in the future something's going to be different. And it's challenging because that's like how do you argue with that? But I've seen so many people that, oh yeah, I'm going to buy in, September of 2024. This is a true story. I'm going to buy in September of 2024. Cool. Well, then in July of 2024, that particular buyer said, oh, no, I'm going to put it on hold. I'm going to be in my lease month to month because there's a job opportunity that's opening up at my job, blah, 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 blah. And I want to take it. It's going to move me farther north. It's going to move me out of the area and I don't want to own a home. Cool. Roundabout January of 2025. Oh, I re-signed my lease. I haven't gotten the job opportunity, whatever. So September, cool. Same thing happened come September. So it's like, well, 2 years have gone by now, and now we're in 2026. We're about to hit September number 3, and he hasn't made the jump to purchase because of the potential.
Yeah.
And what I say is like, gosh, there's so much more opportunity in building equity and growing something, like plant the seed, grow something and create an opportunity for yourself. Because when you're renting, you're just throwing money away.
Well, imagine
if you're
like
buying, you're at least building an opportunity.
In your military career, you have like 4 or 5 different, say, stations that you are going to go to over your career, right? Mm-hmm. If you could have a property from each one, like,
well, that's a whole different investment strategy.
Well, it is, but like,
Sure.
Imagine that, right? Like now you're retiring from the VA, you're getting all your retirement pay, if you have any disability, all of those things.
Right.
And now you have maybe a couple $1 million worth of property sitting there that you could tap into. You could liquidate. You have rentals, all of that. So many people in the military, I don't say so many, people do that, right? And
But there's do
that.
I want to write that down.
Oh my God. But I would also say that a majority of people do not do that.
Do not? Okay.
They do not.
The interesting thing is, I think that there are a lot of people that believe in the benefit. Shout out to Tiffany Harris. Believe in the benefit of the VA home loan, but truthfully, they don't know how to execute on it. And so they get stuck in purgatory of like procrastination. And while they believed in buying when they were at their first duty station in Austin, Texas, then they made their second transition to Tennessee. They hated it. They didn't want to stay there. Then they ended up going to, I don't know, New Mexico or wherever they ended up getting stationed. And then they finally make a long-term transition to Maryland or Washington or California or whatever. And then they finally buy.
Yeah.
But they get into this position where they initially knew it was a good investment. They just don't take the initiative.
One of my clients right now that's selling their home in Texas is going to move here to Calvert County. Woohoo.
By the way, Christian lives in Calvert County.
No, I don't live there. I'm from there. I'm from
Everybody
there.
document this, please. Christian no longer lives in Calvert County.
I do not. I live up here. They're selling their house in Texas, and they bought it for, let's just say, $375,000. Now they're selling it for $600,000 and going to move up here to Maryland. Now they have, let's say, $150,000 to $200,000 worth of equity that they can tap into. One, to either apply to a new house here in Maryland, or to bank it and put it into savings, or fund their kids' college fund, right? And their kids are say 3 and 5, right? So like, you have so much opportunity that you can either reinvest this money, hold on to it, use it for some gain later down the road.
Yeah. That goes to your point, right? Like, it's always better to buy. And in my belief, buying is the opportunity to grow, and not buying is thwarting that opportunity. So if you're not taking that investment, you're not taking advantage of the opportunity that's in front of you, especially when you're talking about low down payment, low interest rates, and no PMI. You can create an opportunity for yourself, and then you can even resell that assumable mortgage when we haven't even talked about that.
I would piggyback off it though, but especially in our market where there is like no foreseeable sign of home prices coming down. Like, we live in this thriving real estate market. It's like, you purchase here in 4 years, in 5 years, when you have to go to that next station, I mean, your equity is going to bring itself back to you.
Love that.
So,
what's the next question? Come on, girl. You got to be ready on this.
I know. Hold on.
Nah. We can blow it up for you.
I know. I'm so sorry. If you could give one piece of negotiation advice to a VA buyer about to write an offer in today's market, what would it be? And why would that advice matter more in 2026 than it did 5 years ago?
Damn, Liv, these questions are getting tough. Matter more in 2026. Wow, that's wild. One piece of advice that you could give a VA home buyer.
I don't know if this would be part of the negotiations, but I would say challenge the myth of coming to the table with $0.
Interesting.
And not in a negative way, because again, there's programs to supplement this, but like you want to write a compelling offer in maybe a multiple offer scenario. I mean, let's put you in the best position possible. And I would say be open to the ideas from a professional.
Interesting. I'm stuck on this part that it's more important today than it was in 2020.
I feel like in 2020, pre-COVID, you could, I don't want to say you can't work out closing costs in today's market, but like, would you say 2020 was more or less competitive than it is now? Or like, let's say even 2019?
I mean, 2020 was definitely more competitive than it is today. But
what about, okay, let's go 2018.
I think I'm going to stick to my original thought. I would suggest to a home buyer to really dive in on the condition of the home. So like we talked about home inspection, we talk about the VA appraisal inspection. Christian mentioned like knowing that there's no handrail or knowing that the condition of the HVAC unit or otherwise. I think if you dive into that when you're walking through the property, if you're getting deep on the condition of the home before you're making the offer, you could potentially waive your home inspection. Not that I'm ever necessarily suggesting it, but why I think it could be a bigger value in today's market than it would have been in 2020. In 2020, I don't think anybody knew it. Like nobody knew what was up. Everything that we were doing was like literally trying something new. So we were trying an escalation, or we were trying an appraisal gap, or we were trying no inspection, or we were trying something new all the time. Now, listing agents know, and other buyers' agents know. So if you're coming to the table with the VA home loan, and really any loan for that matter, but with the VA home loan, and you can edge out the competition by not having a standard inspection, you could still do a walk and talk. You could still do a pre-offer inspection. Yeah. You could do a lot of things to still protect yourself. But I think that it's so much more prevalent today that other agents know that, and they're telling their clients. And if we're not educating our clients, hey, this is the competition that you're up against. Right. I think that's the biggest difference. I remember in COVID, somebody was like, yeah, well, my clients are making an offer with no inspection. And I was like, oh, what are you talking about? And then it was like, my clients are making an offer with no appraisal. And I was like, well, they're rich, right?
Yeah.
And then it was, my clients are making an offer with an appraisal gap. And I was like, what's that? Yeah. It was such a learning for all of us. And it was this, like, all of us were on this upward trajectory.
Do you think,
but now we have to raise our client to that level.
Do you think real estate would be in the position that it's in, or the way would we operate in the same way if we didn't have to go through what COVID put us through? Like, would we have the walk and talk inspection without COVID? Do you know what a walk and talk inspection is?
No.
So standard home inspection, like you're under contract, you perform it with an inspector. It's written on your contract, I'm performing XYZ. Inspector comes out, does his job, you're with him, you have a report. Walk and talk, basically, it's before you go under contract. And if I want to buy this house, I bring my inspector with me on the showing, and he just walks through, tests some of the major appliances, these big ticket items, and gives us an overall scope of the property rather than a 60-page report. But it gives it the purpose of it is to give me the confidence to write an offer without a home inspection. So like COVID, we were doing a lot of these walk and talks, so we didn't have to include a home inspection. We could stand out. My thought is like, would real estate today, would we be using that sort of tool if not for COVID?
Yes.
Really?
Would we be using GPS if not for the Cold War?
I don't know enough about.
Well, but I mean, if you think about it, right? Like, we get these major developments, these major forward motions through big, cataclysmic situations. So GPS came from some of the data that was created from, radar monitoring in the Cold War. Hopefully somebody yells at me and goes like ape on our, podcast because I don't know my actual technical terms, but still, it came from that era. But I still think that we'd have it if there was no Cold War. At some point in time, we would have figured it out. It might not be as prevalent.
Yeah.
I think the same about our real estate world. Do I think that we were doing appraisal gap situations prior to COVID? Maybe. Maybe there were people that were utilizing that tool. Maybe there were walk and talk inspections, or maybe there were other tools that we were using, but it wasn't as prevalent. And what ended up happening was COVID pushed all of these things to the forefront. And so now all of these opportunities become almost like expectations.
Yeah.
If you're asking for, and I had a listing recently that we had all these buyers, and some of them would waive the inspection and some of them would ask for a home inspection. But then there was one, and there's always one, that asked for like a wood destroying insect inspection, a radon inspection. We wanted an environmental inspection, a lead-based paint inspection. It's like, guys, you're stuck back in the 90s. We don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Do I think it would be 9 offers that are all waiving the inspection? No. But I think there'd be some level of prevalence to these things, and they'd be growing with popularity.
Yeah. Okay.
But, I think a lot of times the VA home loan is looked at as a different product. And the truth is, it's the same.
Yeah.
It's just a different eligibility.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't see it as any different than buying a house with your own cash versus buying a house with a gift from your grandmother. In the end of the day, you need cash to put your down payment. Where it's coming from, I don't care.
Right. I agree.
Is that the last question for us?
There's one more.
Ooh, one more.
Looking 3 to 5 years ahead, how do you think the VA loan benefit will evolve, and what should military families be doing right now to position themselves to take full advantage of it?
Ooh. Okay, so one big evolution of the VA home loan was eliminating the loan limit. So there's no loan limit to a VA home loan in today's world, and I wonder if that's going to come back. Like, I think it's kind of crazy that there's no loan limit.
Why?
I don't know. Like,
If you don't, stop being an old lady real estate agent, Mike.
I agree with you. I'm just saying.
It's just like if I'm getting a gift from my parents or I'm funding it myself, who the hell cares? I'm buying the house.
I agree, but I also feel that I wonder if there will be more power or more opportunity put behind limiting the utilization of the VA home loan so that they're able to provide more towards lower income veterans. And that's genuinely how I feel. If we have a $4 million home loan versus keeping $4 million in the bank and utilizing it to empower lower income veterans, and I think if I had to put like a crazy thought to it, I think that the VA home loan is going to have some layer of maybe a down payment assistance program or
that's kind
of rolled into the whole thing.
I was going to say that's kind of where I was going. There's going to be some evolution of we'll say lightening the regulations and the rules of a VA loan. I feel like because we are not me and you or not us at this table, but we are in a world where people still believe some of these myths. And I feel like at some times for VA buyers, they still think that it's going to be challenging to even purchase a house. When I've done 30 VA deals in the past year, you've probably done arguably the same, if not more. And we know how simple it can be.
I recently looked. I'm less than you, and I'm very sad about it. I'm not going to lie.
Nice.
I was very sad about it. I was like, this can't be right. Anyway, continue.
But I think there's going to be some lift of there's got to be some reversal to show people that this is not that difficult. And whether that's lightening the regulations or the rules.
Every time you say that, I keep thinking you're talking about lightning and thunder, like thunder and lightning, not like featherweight, lightening. But anyway, continue.
And then I liked your idea of some sort of down payment assistance program or some sort of assistance. I could see that very well being a thing.
I would
it's
really like
in
to
that
see
realm
it.
of helping people and lightening this load. Or
I would like to see it because I think that the VA puts so much into the support that they provide our veterans. I think that this would be something that would go far beyond the average clientele. This would go far beyond just helping Tom and Sally buy a home. What this would do is it would create an opportunity for people that might be of a lower income tract or...
Well, here's another thought, though. Like, imagine what this would do to the military market, like the big military markets. How many more people could buy a house? Like, even here...
Yeah.
You think of like around Fort Bragg, like the big military installations, like
imagine what it would do from a marketing standpoint, from a recruitment standpoint. Like at some point we have to start to look at the challenges of recruitment, but I mean, we're going into a very different political world, but no, in the next 3 to 5 years, you'll be, servicing these people and hopefully they will be competent in their capacity to utilize a VA home loan. I think that's a big thing that needs to change, but
yeah.
Alas. Any last minute things to add, Christian?
No.
Shoo! Well, we just finished up our last home buyer education series 2 weeks ago, the luxury renovations. We have another one coming up in...
I don't think it's till October.
I think it's August. No, it's definitely August. It's
no,
August.
It's before Summit, right?
August 3rd? August 2nd?
Here, I'll pull it up.
All right.
Oh, I'm already in August. It is 1st.
August
It's a
1st.
Saturday.
It is...
From 10 to 2.
Ice cream and insurance.
Yep.
Super sexy real estate topic is real estate insurance. But we got to talk about it. We love to have you guys come out. So if you have been out to our prior home buyer education series courses, come out to this one as well. And if you haven't, or you know somebody that's looking, make sure you register for them. You can reach out to us. You can PM me or DM me on Instagram at michael.frank___ 4 times. You can also read about our blog, and you can reach out to Christian on InstaWorld.
At Christian the Deadhead.
On InstaWorld, soon to be Christian the Goosehead. And do you want to let people reach out to you? Are you allowed to be public at this point?
I don't know my tag.
Oh my God. I'm so new. Anyway, well, we appreciate you for coming to hang out with us. Hopefully we'll have lots more. And maybe next time you'll bring some content.
Some content?
Love it. All right. Talk to you soon. What's up, guys? Thanks for watching. For more information on the housing market, Real Estate 101, how you can leverage your position in today's market, and so much more, click on the link below. If you like this video or have a burning real estate question you'd like us to answer, leave us a comment and let us know. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode, and we'll see you again real soon.